I like butchered that name, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna buy it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to go through some of the plants that I would not buy. So whether they're too expensive, too hyped, overrated, whatever the reason, these are just plants that I probably would not purchase for my own collection. This is all just for fun. Don't come at me if you disagree or if you already have this plant and you're like, why don't you want this plant? It's amazing. It's just my own opinion. The next video will be the plants that I want this year, so my wish list plants for 2021. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And yeah, let's just jump right into today's video. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the one and only Monstera ALBO variegata. So this Monstera is super, I would say overrated, but I mean, it's still a very beautiful, stunning plant. I think it's very nice looking and would be great in my collection. It's just I don't think the price tag is really worth it. It's so expensive right now. It's like probably like 1.5 to 2 times the price of a Thai constellation, and a Thai constellation is already pretty expensive. For a medium to small size plant, it would be like $200–300. So meaning an ALBO Monstera would be like $400, $500, $600, and that's just way too much. Since I probably won't be getting this through a trade, I don't think I will be adding this to my collection, and therefore I will not be buying a Monstera ALBO variegata borsigiana. I like butchered that name, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna buy it. Okay, so plant number 2 on this list of plants that I will not be buying, at least this year, would be the SCINDAPSUS TREUBII dark form. So this is the kind of like darker blackish leaves plant, and it's just honestly very expensive. I see like maybe 2 leaves for like over $100 very easily, and it's just not a fast grower, number 1. Number 2, it also is very finicky. So even just the regular SCINDAPSUS TREUBII Moonlight, so kind of like the silvery greenish blue leaf one, that one is already pretty tricky and it rots very easily. I've had a lot of friends kind of complain about how their SCINDAPSUS TREUBII Moonlight has rotted. So if you get the dark form, I'm pretty sure it's even more difficult, because usually the more expensive the plant is, kind of the more difficult it becomes, but not for every plant, but I would say it's a general rule. So if you were to compare the Moonlight versus the dark form, probably the dark form is going to be more finicky, and I really don't want really difficult plants that will just kind of always throw tantrums while in my care. So that's why I wouldn't add this SCINDAPSUS TREUBII dark form to my collection. Okay, plant number 3 is going to be a philodendron. So you guys probably know that I really enjoy kind of heart-shaped velvet leaf philodendrons. So like El Choco Reds, Varicosums, Melanochrysum, Gloriosum, those type of plants. But this one is a different shaped plant. So similar to a Billietiae, but this one is called the Philodendron PARAISO VERDE. Hope I said that right. If I did not, comment it down below how I should be saying it, but this is just how I perceive this plant should be said in my head. This is the plant that has kind of like paddle shaped leaves, so they're very elongated, and I just don't really like that leaf shape, but I think the variegation on this plant is so amazing. It's so beautiful. It kind of gives me like Marble Queen and like Thai constellation vibes, but like a mixture of the both of them kind of mashed up together. I generally like chunky looking leaves, very chubby, but this one is very elongated, and sometimes it's not as variegated depending on kind of the season and the amount of light that it gets. So I think it's not as stable as I'd like it to be, so that's why it's on my list. Despite it being a very beautiful plant, I know a lot of people are looking for this plant / really want this plant, but for me, I don't think this is the right plant to add to my collection. This one also reminds me of the Jose Bueno. That one looks very similar, but I think it's a little bit smaller. But correct me if I'm wrong. If you have both of these plants, comment it down below which kind of differences you guys can kind of see in your 2 plants. Moving on to plant number 4, this one's going to be an Anthurium. And before you guys come at me, I do want to say that I really want this Anthurium. It's just I wouldn't buy it because the one that I want, probably I wouldn't be able to afford. And you guys probably guessed it, but this plant is the Anthurium WAROCQUEANUM. So this is the Queen Anthurium. It is a super beautiful plant, and honestly, if I was lucky enough to get this through a trade, I would like literally die for it, but you know, I don't think I'm gonna be finding this through a trade because it's already such a rare plant. It's so expensive, and the one I want is probably like not a juvenile little baby seedling, but I want like a really mature long leaf form, and those go for way too much. I can't really justify spending that on a plant no matter how much I like it. Plants are usually bought with disposable income, and I don't think I have that type of disposable income at this moment, so I'm probably not gonna get a Queen Anthurium. Definitely wouldn't be dropping like $1,000 on a plant, so yeah, probably won't be buying one of these in the near future. Next one I want to talk about for plant number 5 is an alocasia. So this one is the alocasia dragon scale. So this kind of reminds me of the silver dragon, but with a darker kind of leaf. This one is significantly more expensive. So like I probably would think like double the price of a silver dragon. And when a silver dragon was in my care, it wasn't even thriving. It was growing so slowly. The leaves were coming out very small, and I just couldn't really figure out the care for alocasias. So that's why I wouldn't add this to my collection. If I can't take care of a plant and it won't thrive in my environment, then I don't want to buy it just for the sake of everyone else having it. So I wouldn't really fall into this hype of getting alocasias, you know, with everyone getting black velvets, maharanis, mellows, literally all the alocasias out there, cupreas, and I just don't think alocasias are for me. I think I like to admire them from afar, so it'd be really nice to just, you know, look at other people's plants and see that it's doing really well, but not get one of these for myself, especially if I'm going to be spending so much money on it. Last but not least is a variegated ZZ plant. So I think that the regular ZZ plant looks so amazing and so beautiful, and it's very affordable, very reasonably priced, and you can get this in a very, very large plant. But the variegated ZZ plant, you either get them in like leaves, like literally just variegated leaves, or you get a little tiny stem without like a rhizome, so you have to root it yourself. And I think these plants are just too small, too slow growing for the price tag that they're going for right now in the market. And I hope that one day the price will drop, because the plant does look really, really nice. It's just I don't think I can justify spending that type of money on literally a leaf that will probably take a year for it to root. It's so slow, and I like my ZZ plants very large, literally like a floor plant. So probably won't be getting myself a variegated ZZ. Even if it's through a trade, I don't think it's going to be on my list of plants that I want for the year of 2021. Okay, so that pretty much concludes all the plants that I wanted to talk about that I won't be buying this year, and probably my next video will be the plants that I want this year, so my wish list plants for 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below which plant that you think you would never buy, or at least not buy right now, because I guess people change their opinions over time, but for me, these are the plants I won't buy right now. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.